Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, I have a day off from work today. Took a vacation day for Thursday and Friday. So I got to sleep in. I get to record this when it's still light outside. I ran some errands today. And the cat's been playing all afternoon. They've been so cute. So Nico seems to be getting over his hissing fit and playing with his little sister kitten. I did throw cards on it before we got the cat, and that's what I saw as like the double card, and he was just, the way I interpreted it was he was going to be a total dick to her. But once he established the pecking order that he's the top cat and she's not, they would get along on a house of fire, and so far they've been having a good time playing together. No hissing, they're chasing each other up and down the stairs, just having a good time. So your kitty updates. All right, so what do we got going on? Speaking of kitty, Stormy Daniels went through another day of cross-examination. I believe she's done now because they've had the cross and they had the redirect. Trump and his lawyers, or Trump's lawyers, were going after her credibility, basically saying she made the whole thing up to extort money from him. And then they wanted a mistrial because she can say that Trump, and she had a sexual encounter, and he can't say anything. And the judge said, no, I'm not giving you a mistrial. And no, I'm not amending the gag order because your client has pretty much shown that I can't do that. You can promise things, but your client won't follow it. That's been his pattern of behavior. So, for folks that get really grumpy about Trump and violating the gag orders, this is where it's coming back to bite him. He's gotten away with it on the short term for so long, but here's the long-term consequences. The judge isn't going to give him any leeway on it because he knows he'll violate it. And he hasn't earned to have his gag order reduced or an exception carved out so he can defend himself against Stormy Daniels. And the other thing is, Stormy Daniels went on oath. She took an oath and went in front of the court and swore that this happened. Trump hasn't done that. He can do it too. He can testify in front of a court. With the penalty of perjury being there, that he didn't have a sexual encounter with her. The reason for what the mistrial is that, again, Stormy Daniels went into some details, especially like yesterday. I don't know if there's anything new today, but the judge said this, and it was really cool. Let me see if I can find the exact quote. Here it is. Okay, I found it in the article. The judge said Trump's outright denial of the incident and his legal team's attack on her credibility opened the door for the prosecutors to bring in Daniels' testimony that turned salacious. Quote, the more specificity Miss Daniels can provide about the encounter, the more the jury can weigh whether the encounter did occur, and if so, whether they choose to credit Ms. Daniels' story, Mershon said. Mershon then pointed the finger at Nichols, who opted not to object to several salacious lines of questioning that the defense later used as reasons the judge should declare a mistrial. Blanche argued that Daniels' testimony at the trial was a new version of alleged events, and Mershon disagreed with it. So basically, the judge basically said, hey, this is because you attacked her this way. That opened the door for her to talk about details. If Trump were to go if he were to testify in his own defense, God help us that he does, he's going to go up there and he's going to say they never had sex. That was a lie, complete lie. And then at that point, I would call Miss Daniels back up as a witness, and I would ask her specific details about Donald Trump that would indicate she knew she had seen him naked. Describe his shrunken mushroom. That's, and then, you know what? You can have a freaking doctor verify it as an expert. That would be amazing. I don't think we'll get that, but if we did, I'm here for it. Oh, there will be a quickie, which kind of describes their sexual encounter too, right? Okay, let's look at the energy around Stormy Daniels after during cross-examination and after kind of the whole deal here. Apparently during cross, she was very tersely answering questions. Her lawyers did talk to her to keep her on message. So, good on them. I'm hoping this all works, and now the jury's going to definitely see the hostility there. Oh, and she had some zingers too. Oh God, where is it? Again, Trump's lawyer continued with the insinuation, turning to Daniels' work as a writer of adult films. You have a lot of experience making phony stories about sex appear to be real. Daniels said, "Wow, that's not how I would put it. The sex in the films is very much real, just like what happened to me in that room." You cannot out-troll this woman. She is an expert at it, absolute expert, and the lawyer's finding that out too. All right, here we go. Energy around Stormy Daniels here. Foundation of the reading. Six of Cups. I think if she were to look back at her age 27, she was naive to think that this guy, she wouldn't make that same mistake again. Let's put it that way. She had that experience, and now she knows what to look for. She would never make that mistake again. When asked about, the lawyer saying, Trump's lawyer is saying, well, you're just doing this to make money. You've made millions. And on redirect, they asked her about all the money she had to spend on lawyers and security and stuff like that, and if she's ahead or behind in money made. She goes, "Oh, it's negative, definitely negative." I don't want to say she wouldn't do this again if she could avoid it, but if she had to relive it. But I think she understands things a lot better. She will never be caught out like that again. And we're at the crossroads here. Decisions that need to be made. Naive might be too strong a word, but there's some nostalgia there. Honestly, I think the jury, this could also be, the jury's looking at her as a younger woman and seeing, the lure. What did Trump lure her in with? And what decisions were made after he got her into his room? And then we've got the Five of Cups, the disappointment. A lot of disappointment here. Not everything's lost. I think, again, there's regrets that she had with that decision. She's not happy with the choice that she made, but she's wiser for it. That's kind of how she vibes as a person. And she may not have wanted to testify in this, but this is like her only chance to get some kind of justice against Trump, because he bullies her and he bullies everybody, and this is her way of striking back. In the past, we have the Death card, bringing things to an end. She's had death threats laid against her. It didn't kill her career, but I think it did kill her marriage. Just, again, it's kind of this kind of vibe, trusting, thought, okay, it's a businessman. Her instincts told her no. Her publicist said yes. Her instincts were right. And I think this is the end of her, not trusting people, but this is the end of her ignoring her instincts. She will follow her instincts from now on. Current situation is the Four of Pentacles. She's protecting herself. And she's protecting her... To me, this is like her protecting her truth. I know what happened. I know what I felt. And I know what I did. She is accountable, but she's going to protect that. Nobody is going to take this away from her. This is too valuable a lesson. I'm not saying she's resentful. She wants justice. And maybe revenge in this case. I'm not going to lie. She probably does want revenge. But nobody is going to take this away. Trump's lawyers are not going to discount her. She will not let that happen. Hell no. I went through what I went through. People need to know about it. They can make up their own mind from my testimony and the lack of his testimony. Overarching energy is the Ten of Cups. She didn't have a happy childhood growing up. Not at all. She has gone a different path. An absolute different path. A path that most people would not have to go down. But this is the path that she chose. This was the path that was going to give her opportunities in life. that shoveling manure in a stable wasn't going to do for her. Would you or I have done it? Probably not. But that doesn't mean that it's wrong for her. She wants her happy ending. She's going to hold on to her truth, and she's going to live her life, her best life. And that's going to look good for her. She's a happy person. She can be a happy person. She's a strong person too. And there's nobody that's going to take her truth. That doesn't happen in this world. She won't let it. The lesson to be learned, oh God, the Two of Coins. She lost money on this deal. But she has stronger values because of it. Nobody's going to tell her what to do. Her life has been tumultuous. She suffered a lot financially with all of this. But this doesn't matter because she's a strong woman and she's going to hold on to her truth. Nobody's taking that away. And if this is the price she has to pay, then fine. She will pay that price. But she is not rolling over for this guy. God, she's a strong woman. In the outcome, 3 of Cups. The jury was waiting for her. They got to hear it. I think her testimony was hugely damaging to Donald Trump. And, we got Karen McDougal coming up next. This is a celebration. She's going to come out of this celebrating. She's done all she can do on this one. Now it's, will the jury listen? And I think they will, and give her the value for her testimony there. And I think they will. And this isn't just wishful thinking on my part. The cats are in the hallway over here playing. Nico and Elle have been chasing each other up the stairs all afternoon. He's not hissing at her anymore. They've touched noses several times. And God, they've just been having fun. This is the good part about having cats. Now, 2 in the morning, it may not be nearly as cute, but it's way better than cats fighting and hissing at each other. She's stopping them now. Yeah, I've got more videos. Maybe I should give her own channel. Okay. How did the jury... what's the jury looking at her now? I want to get the energy of the jury. They've seen her. Again, Trump's whole his strategy was just say it didn't happen. Stick your head in the sand, pretend it didn't happen. She's got a lot of specific details. And they were saying, oh, you write sex movies, so you just made this up. And let's see. There was a wow. Yeah, no, that was the same one. I said, you just made it up. And she's like, no, wrong. Oh, God. Okay, how's the jury? How's the jury looking at her? God, I hope I get that 3 of Cups again. That would be amazing. Okay, how's the jury looking at Stormy Daniels' testimony in its entirety? Both the testimony and the cross-examination and the redirect. The world card. Okay. They've seen the whole thing. And I think what this is her testimony helped them see the big picture. This is not an isolated event about, just 2 people having sex. There's a bigger picture here. Again, you have the Karen McDougal thing coming up, but then you have the whole E. Jean Carroll thing in the background and to what happened to her. And, God knows how many other women this has happened to with Donald Trump. Plus, the Access Hollywood tape. Her testimony totally backs up that Access Hollywood tape. Absolutely backs it up. 3 of Wands crossed with the 3 of Wands. Oh, there we go again. I think her testimony, if they were close, it sealed the deal. I think her testimony sealed the deal on this case. And, they're waiting for more. They were waiting for her testimony. They got it. And now you have Karen McDougal in the wings. That's just going to be, and that's going to be a totally different vibe because Stormy Daniels was just a one-time thing in Tahoe. Karen McDougal is going to talk about a 10-month affair. And Trump's going to deny that too and say she's extorting him for money. The jury's just not going to believe it. It's not credible. God, again, Karen McDougal's gorgeous. And no offense to the guys, the happily married men on that jury, they might wish they were Donald Trump in that situation, because heavens. Okay, stop trying to get myself all worked up here. Sorry, Michelle. Mwah. But yeah, Trump's just not credible. He is not credible at all. There's too many pictures, too many corroborating stories. Why would you believe him? What's the jury thinking about it? Okay, 8 of Wands. This is messaging things happening quickly. The quick actions taken. Even though her testimony went over 2 full days, there was a lot of information that they had to process. And believe me, they were paying attention to it. You know, it's funny, considering how short their actual relationship was, there's an amazing amount of information in it. The current situation is the 3 of Coins. They're going to have they can't talk about it now. But when the jury does debate, they're going to give her testimony a lot of weight, a lot of value as to what was going on behind the scenes. I mean, again, they've got the lawyers talking about what behind the scenes. They've got David Pecker talking about the conspiracy that happened, and she's just she's the third part in that conspiracy. You know, you got David Pecker, you got the lawyer, you got Stormy Daniels. Michael Cohen's testimony is going to help too, but it just, to them, it's like confirming the triangle of that conspiracy. Overarching energy is the 2 of Wands. They've now seen her testimony. They have their guardrails up as to, and again, the judge is going to give an order on stuff to ignore, but I think they already had their guardrails up. They weren't going to say, oh my God, he raped her, we need to convict him. That's not what was going to happen, they're going to dismiss that. But I think they see the big, like this one right here, they see the big picture. They see the globe, the world for what it is. It's not flat. Sorry for all the flat earthers watching this, but this is not flat. They see the 3 dimensions of this case. The lesson to be learned is the 8 of Cups. She's going to give them a lot to think about even after this trial is done. I think also one of her parts of her testimony was how she walked away from Trump. If she was going to extort him, she wouldn't have walked away. She wouldn't have ghosted him. And why did it take, 8 years, 9 years between when the encounter happened, or 10 years from when the encounter happened to when the payment happened? That makes no sense whatsoever. His testimony just doesn't, his defense doesn't add up. And they don't take away from the story. It's just a character assassination. In the end of the day, I think they're going to come together. The jury's going to come together, and she's going to be one of the most valuable witnesses on there. Again, we've got David Pecker explaining the conspiracy. We've got Mr. Davidson, the lawyer, Keith Davidson, the lawyer, explaining how the negotiations went. And now Stormy Daniels explained what happened, and in enough detail explained why it would have been embarrassing for Trump. And that's what the pundits that I listen to, and you guys listen to as well, be from Brian Tyler Cohen and Glenn Kirshner to Midas Touch. Basically, when she gets into the salacious details and Trump's all embarrassed by it, and that's exactly the point. That's exactly why you bury something like that. Because he would not have won the 2016 election if her story came out. He would not have won it. And I think, that might be that disappointment she's experiencing. Had she just come out with her story and, didn't go for the money, didn't get it quashed, she would have stopped him dead in his tracks. And we never would have had to go through everything that we went through, at least this time around. Lord knows what the next time might have been like. We'd have about 500,000 to 1 million more Americans alive, too. Judge Merchan, he's already denied a mistrial twice. I want to look. There's the illusion and delusions card. 7 of Cups just flipped over. Yeah, it's like I was going to ask. is there going to be a mistrial in this case? Will Trump's team be able to either get a mistrial or like an appeal, a successful appeal based on her testimony? That was one of the concerns Midas Touch had, was that maybe they could have gotten their case without all the details. But, again, this is kind of the humiliation of Donald Trump. And I don't mean that to help sell the case, in as much as this is kind of like that karma. This is his mashed potatoes moment for his own behavior and the humiliation that comes with his own behavior. He's got nobody to blame but himself. You can't blame Stormy Daniels for this. You did this to yourself. So will there be a mistrial or a successful appeal due to something like Stormy Daniels' testimony? 9 of Swords. Okay, it's causing a lot of anxiety. And they've already asked for a couple of mistrials. They've asked, I'm sure they're going to appeal on this. It's the details of the encounter are going to cause some problems. Is that going to be successful or not? Underarching energy, maybe too much information got out. We will see. In the past, 6 of Swords, I think this is not going to be the mistrial. This is going to be more the appeal. They're going to ask for the appeal because, again, too much information got out and it tainted the jury, so to speak. There'll be a debate whether or not that information tainted the jury. Overarching energy is, should this cause the case to result in a mistrial or the conviction overturned? The lesson to be learned is the King of Cups. Maintaining one's self-control, maintaining the emotions on things. What's the outcome? The walking away. That's now I'm torn because the walking away is we're going to overturn it versus we're walking away from this. Let's throw some qualifiers on that one. King of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the 5 of Swords. Justice. Winner takes all. No quarter given. In the Knight of Cups. Kind of an offer. I'm wondering if they do overturn this on appeal based on her testimony. I mean, I think if they do overturn it, and I'll throw on that one, I suspect that with this Ace of Swords here, they could overturn it, but I think even if they do, the Ace of Swords is such that the case is so strong that if they retried him, they would convict it. And it might be they don't overturn it because they might look at the evidence and say, you know what, I understand what you're talking about, but at the same time, there is so much evidence here for his guilt that if her testimony was completely off the record, it would be reasonable to think that he would still be convicted. As far as gag orders go, there's not going to be a change in the gag order. So let me throw a 4-carder. Because I was asked about gag orders as well as appeals, will Trump's legal team win the appeal? Will Trump's legal team win an appeal on this one? Based off of Stormy Daniels' testimony. Very specific question. Let's see if I get a very specific answer. Swear to God, if I start getting the pages of the Queen's Ace of Pentacles, big push, financial or values push here. Okay. Will Trump get a new trial? Heartbreak, betrayal. We got the 3 of Swords, 3 of Wands, King of Wands, the burden. I think, honestly, and I hate saying this, I think he might win an appeal on this. The heartbreak and betrayal, it's like, They could say, yeah, that was too much information that she shared. I mean, there's so much more, but again, that would be fine. Go ahead. Let's retry it. Let's have Trump spend more millions of dollars on lawyers, because they absolutely will retry this case. It's worth it to them to retry it. Maybe Trump would want to plea bargain at that point. Of course, at that point, Trump would probably no longer be a presidential candidate. He wouldn't be a presidential candidate by the time, any type of appeal went through and stuff like that. The elections likely would have already occurred. Trump might have already had his health event here. Ooh, that Three of Swords, that might also be Trump's health event, right? Okay, so then we had the Three of Swords, the Three of Wands, the Three of Pentacles. You know what? Honestly, I think this thing, the case will be done. It'll go to appeal. Trump will have his health issue, and then it's kind of a moot point. Okay, so they overturn it. Go for it. Now, he may not be competent to stand trial, and it won't really matter at that point because you're not going to send him to prison anyways. It's just literally, are you going to take some felonies off of him? I actually kind of like how that works. I wish I hadn't picked up the cards so quickly. Yeah, so what we have the Three of Swords. That could be the health event. Underneath it was the Three of Wands, waiting for something to happen, like see if he's competent or making that decision. You had the King of Wands on one side and the Three of Coins on the other. The darkness of the health. We don't know what his health is like. And then you got the King of Wands here. I mean, this could very well be something that's decided after he's passed. He's at the Great McDonald's in the sky. I love Susan Lynn's line. Okay. Donald Trump's health is definitely something for another reading altogether. I think we will end it here. It's been long enough. I've got a kitty hiding behind me. Oh, you're playing with a toy over here, are you? Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your kind words, your comments, your thumbs up, everything you do to help feed the YouTube algorithm so my video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks discovering this channel recently or for the first time, welcome to the channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.